The wedding reception was packed. Everybody was clapping and hailing as Kelechi and her new husband, Michael, danced into the hall. The bride, dressed in a sparkling white gown, looked like the happiest woman alive. People whispered about how love doesn't care about status. Imagine, a rich woman like Kelechi marrying a driver. But behind all smiles and celebrations, nobody suspected the wicked plan that had been in motion from the start, a plan cooked up by her own blood. Kelechi Amadi was the only child of Chief Amadi, a billionaire businessman who had left everything to her when he died. The properties, the companies, even their family estate in Lekki. It was all hers. At 28, Kelechi was wealthy, beautiful and kind-hearted. She didn't like to look down on people and she trusted easily. That trust would soon become her biggest problem. Auntie Blessing had always been jealous of Kelechi and her late father. How can Amadi leave everything to his daughter and forget me, his own sister? She would grumble anytime she was alone. As she sat in her small house in Ajegunle, her jealousy turned into hatred and her hatred turned into a dangerous plan. She needed someone to help her execute it, someone close to Kelechi. That is how she found Michael. Michael was a young, sharp guy who had come to Lagos to hustle. Handsome with a confident smile, he had the charm to make anyone trust him. When Auntie Blessing approached him with a plan, he was hesitant. "But ma, this thing you are asking me to do, it is risky oh," Michael said, shifting uncomfortably in his seat. "Risky how?" Auntie Blessing snapped, sliding an envelope stuffed with cash across the table. "You don't want to leave this poverty behind. Once you marry her and we share the wealth, you will never suffer again." The money tempted him. The promise of more sealed the deal. "Okay ma, I go do am," Michael finally agreed. Kelechi didn't notice anything unusual when Michael started working as a driver. He was respectful, always on time, and never gave her any reason to doubt him. Over time, they became close. On long drives, they would talk about everything, life, dreams, and even love. One day, after dropping her off at her office, Michael lingered for a moment. "Madam, you are such a nice person. It is rare to see rich people like you that treat everybody equally," he said, smiling shyly. Kelechi laughed. "Michael, stop flattering me." But his words stayed with her. Slowly, she began to see him differently. He was kind, humble, and always there for her, unlike the rich men who only wanted her for her money. Michael seemed genuine. When Kelechi announced that she was in love with her driver, her family and friends were shocked. "Kelechi, have you lost your mind? A driver? Do you know what people will say?" her best friend Mary asked. But Kelechi didn't care. "It is my life and Michael loves me for who I am, not for my money," she replied firmly. The only person who seemed happy about the relationship was Auntie Blessing. "If this is what makes you happy, my dear, I support you," she said sweetly, hiding her true feeling. The wedding was grand and everyone pretended to be happy for Kelechi. Meanwhile, Michael and Auntie Blessing were secretly rejoicing. After the wedding, Michael played his role perfectly. He showered Kelechi with love and made her believe she was the center of his world. One evening, as they sat on the balcony of their mansion, Michael brought up the idea of transferring some properties to his name. "Kelechi, my love, handling all these properties alone must be stressful. Let me help you manage some of them. You trust me, don't you?" "Of course I trust you," Kelechi said, smiling. Without thinking twice, she signed the document he gave her. Unbeknownst to her, those papers were part of a bigger plan. Kelechi's perfect world started to crack when she received an anonymous text message. "Madam, your husband and your auntie are planning to kill you. Be careful." At first, she dismissed it as a prank, but something didn't feel right. She began to notice small things, a hushed conversation between Michael and Auntie Blessing, the way they would stop talking when she entered the room. She decided to investigate. With the help of her tech survey friend, she installed a recording app on Michael's phone. What she discovered shattered her heart. "I go soon convince her to sign the remaining properties," Michael's voice said in one recording. "Once everything dey my name, we go finish her, no lose end. Kelechi knew she couldn't confront them directly. If she did, they might kill her immediately. Instead, she came up with a plan to fake her death. She confided in her closest friend Mary, who helped her set up everything. During dinner one night, Kelechi pretended to collapse after drinking from her wine glass. Michael panicked, thinking their poison had worked. She is dead, the doctor declared the next morning. Michael and Auntie Blessing were overjoyed. They held a grand funeral to cover their tracks, but inside, they were already dividing Kelechi's wealth. Unbeknownst to them, Kelechi was watching everything from a safe house, far away. She had cut her hair, changed her appearance, and was now plotting her next move. "Let them think I am dead," she said to Mary. "I will make sure they pay for what they have done." A few weeks after the funeral, Michael and Auntie Blessing were living large. Michael moved into Kelechi's mansion fully, and Auntie Blessing began redecorating as if she had always lived there. "Michael, now that everything is settled, we need to finalize the transfer of that Lekki estate," Auntie Blessing said one morning, sitting comfortably. "Relax, Auntie," Michael replied, grinning. "Na me get everything now, no rush." But even as they enjoyed their stolen riches, strange things began to happen. It started small. One night, Michael was alone in the mansion when he heard footsteps. "Who dey there?" he called out, his voice shaking. There was no reply. Then came the whispers, faint but chilling. They sounded like Kelechi's voice. "Michael, you have betrayed me." Michael's heart pounded. He ran into the room and locked the door. "It is my mind playing tricks," he muttered to himself. But the whispers didn't stop. Auntie Blessing experienced the same thing. One afternoon, as she was counting money in her room, she heard someone laughing softly behind her. She turned quickly, but no one was there. "Who dey there?" she shouted, clutching her chest. The fear started to grow between them. Meanwhile, Kelechi was gathering evidence. She worked with Mary to hire a private investigator, Mr. Ayodele, who had a reputation for uncovering hidden secrets. "Madam, these people are careless," Mr. Ayodele said, placing a folder on the table. "Your auntie and husband have already started selling some of your properties. They even signed fake documents to claim full ownership." Kelechi's anger boiled. "They think they have won, but I will show them who owes this wealth." Her plan was simple: expose them publicly, take back her properties and make them suffer. But first, she wanted them to feel the fear of losing everything. Kelechi set a trap. She asked Mr. Ayodele to pose as a wealthy buyer interested in the Lekki estate that Auntie Blessing and Michael had stolen. Michael, as greedy as ever, agreed to meet the buyer at a luxury restaurant in Victoria Island. "Ah, this one go bring us big money," Michael told Auntie Blessing. During the meeting, Mr. Ayodele recorded everything. "So, you are saying you own this estate outright?" he asked casually, sliding a contract across the table. "Of course," Michael replied, signing the paper confidently. He had no idea he was signing his confession. That night, Michael woke up to the sound of shattering glass. He rushed downstairs and found the living room mirror broken, with the words, "I am not dead," written in red lipstick. He froze, his leg trembling. "Kelechi, is it possible she is alive?" Auntie Blessing dismissed his fear. "Stop this nonsense. She is dead. You saw her body, Abby." "But if she is not," Michael whispered, his voice barely audible. Their fear deepened when they began receiving anonymous letters, each one saying the same thing: "I am coming for you." Kelechi knew she had them where she wanted. She leaked news to a popular blog, exposing Michael's humble background and his sudden rise to wealth. The story quickly went viral. "Who is this man who married a billionaire heiress and now owns everything she had?" the headline reads. Michael became paranoid. He couldn't go out without people whispering behind his back. Some even accused him of being involved in Kelechi's death. One evening, Kelechi sent a message to Michael and Auntie Blessing, posing as a lawyer representing Chief Amadi's estate. The message requested their presence at a private meeting to discuss new evidence regarding the properties. When they arrived, they were shocked to see Kelechi sitting at the head of the table, alive and well. You are dead," Blessing stammered, clutching Michael's hand. "No, Auntie, I am very much alive," Kelechi said, her voice cold. "And I know everything. The room went silent as Kelechi played the recordings of their conversation and showed the forged documents. Both of you thought you could take everything from me, kill me and live happily ever after, but now your time is up. Before they could react, police officers entered the room. Mr. Michael and Mrs. Blessing, you are under arrest for fraud, conspiracy and attempted murder, one officer announced. As they were handcuffed and led away, Blessing screamed, Kelechi, you can't do this to me. I am your blood. You stopped being my blood the moment you plotted to kill me, Kelechi replied, her voice steady. Blessing and Michael's trial became the talk of the town. Every media outlet covered the story and people were stunned at the betrayal Kelechi had suffered. In court, the judge listened attentively as Kelechi's lawyer presented overwhelming evidence, the recorded conversation, forged documents, and Mr. Ayodele's investigative report. You both betrayed the trust of someone who loved you and took care of you, the judge said sternly. This is a crime of greed and deceit. You will face the consequences. Blessing was sentenced to 20 years in prison for conspiracy and fraud. Michael, who had played a more active role in the attempted murder, received life imprisonment. As they were led away, Blessing wept bitterly. I should have been content with what I had. With justice served, Kelechi focused on rebuilding her life. She decided to turn her family's wealth into a force for good, setting up a foundation to support women and children who had been victims of betrayal and abuse. She also reconnected with her friends, including Mary, who had stood by her throughout the ordeal. Kelechi, you have shown incredible strength, Mary said one day as they discussed the foundation's project. I just want to ensure no one else suffer like I did, Kelechi replied with a smile. This story is a powerful reminder that greed, betrayal and deceit only lead to destruction, while love, trust and resilience build a better life. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more eye-opening tales like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Turn on your notifications so you won't miss the next exciting story. Thank you for watching and always remember, do good and good will come back to you.